I don't want your scraps." Helen Sinclair's words cut through the mansion's air like a sharp blade. 80 guests, dressed in their finest, hold champagne flutes and watch in stunned, awkward silence. The small box, wrapped in simple paper decorated with little golden stars, flies through the air and lands in the stainless steel trash can with a dull thud. Rose Miller, 62 years old, in her threadbare custodian's uniform, lowers her head, feeling the world spin. She had waited 45 years for this moment, and it ended in 3 seconds of humiliation. The mansion glitters with synchronized Christmas lights, 15 imported trees, and decorations that cost more than Rose earns in 5 years. Helen built an empire selling Christmas magic, 800 stores spread across the country, billions in revenue, magazine covers dubbing her the Queen of Christmas. But something crucial is missing from this luxurious atmosphere: a soul. Rose watches it all with tear-filled eyes, clutching a pain to her chest, the pain of someone carrying a secret far too heavy. Inside that rejected box lies Helen's only true inheritance, and she doesn't even know it. Christmas Eve should be a time for connection, but Helen has transformed it into a parade of vanity. Businessmen, celebrities, politicians, everyone wants to be seen at her party. Everyone is forcing a smile. Artificial snow dusts the garden. An orchestra plays live, and waiters serve food most Americans will never taste. Rose has cleaned this mansion for 3 years, always invisible, always silent. Today, she dared to break protocol, dared to offer her employer a gift, and she was destroyed in front of them all. "You really think you're in a position to give me a gift? A cleaner, giving a gift to me?" Helen laughs, and the guests laugh along, just as they always do. Rose doesn't respond. She just turns her back slowly and walks toward the door. Each step is heavy, each step aches, because she knows what she is leaving behind. Before she leaves, she pauses on the threshold and whispers something no one but Helen can hear. "Your mother died wishing you would receive this on Christmas. I've spent my entire life looking for you." And she vanishes into the cold December night. Helen freezes. The smile dies on her face. How does a simple cleaner know about her biological mother? That is a secret not even her most important guests know. Ryan, her 23-year-old son, watches from across the ballroom, and something in Rose's desperate gaze strikes a chord deep in his heart. The party continues, but Helen is rattled, unable to get Rose's final words out of her mind. While everyone drinks and laughs, a small box sits in the trash, hiding the biggest secret of Helen's life, a secret that has waited 45 years to be revealed. Decades ago, in a humble little room in a poor neighborhood, 2 sisters slept huddled together, sharing the same thin blanket. Marianne and Rose Miller had only each other in the world. The elder, Marianne, was a dreamer, passionate about life. The younger, Rose, was protective and strong. They didn't have much, but they had something money can't buy: true love. Until the day Marianne turned up pregnant, and everything fell apart. The baby's father, a wealthy man, vanished like a ghost the moment he learned of the pregnancy. Their family threw Marianne out of the house without a second thought. "You've shamed us. We don't want you here anymore." Only Rose, just a fragile 17-year-old herself, stood by her sister. She worked cleaning houses from dawn till dusk, returning exhausted to care for the pregnant Marianne. The months dragged on, the belly grew, and Christmas approached. Marianne had always adored Christmas. Even in the worst conditions, she would decorate their tiny room with paper stars and sing carols. "Christmas is magical, Rose. It's when miracles happen," she would say, stroking her round belly. Marianne wore a simple gold wedding band, an heirloom from her grandmother, the only thing of value she possessed. "One day, I'll give this to my daughter," she repeated often, refusing to sell it even when they lacked money for food. Rose would plead, "Marianne, sell the ring. We need to pay the hospital." But her sister was adamant. "This ring has to go to my little girl on Christmas. It has to be on Christmas, Rose." "Do you promise?" Rose promised, not understanding the urgency in those words. She didn't know that promise would change her life forever. Labor began prematurely, with terrible complications. At the small, under-resourced hospital, the doctors delivered the devastating news. "It's her or the baby, you have to choose." Marianne didn't hesitate for a second. "Save my daughter." Rose wept, pleaded, screamed, "No!" But Marianne was at peace. She gripped her younger sister's hand tightly, pulled the ring from her own finger, and pressed it into Rose's trembling palm. "Look after her for me. Tell her I loved her more than anything. Give her the ring when she's grown. On Christmas. Promise." Rose, drowning in tears, promised. Minutes later, Marianne closed her eyes forever, and a healthy baby girl was born, never knowing her mother's face. Rose, at only 17, had no way to keep the child. The hospital gave the baby up for adoption. A wealthy family took her, and no one said where she went. Rose was left with nothing but a gold ring in her hand and an impossible promise in her heart. She spent the next 45 years searching for that girl, digging through records, knocking on doors, never giving up, until the day, while cleaning an ordinary office, she saw a face on television. Helen Sinclair, the Queen of Christmas. Rose's heart nearly stopped as she calculated the age and recognized something in the woman's features. It was her. After 45 years, she had finally found the niece she had promised to protect. Ryan had never been like his mother. Where Helen saw business opportunities, he saw people with stories. As the party rages on around him, champagne flowing and false laughter echoing through the halls, he can't get Rose's face out of his mind. Those pain-filled eyes, that trembling voice as she spoke of Helen's biological mother. Something about it all was true. He felt it in his gut. And Ryan had always trusted his gut more than numbers. The party is at its peak, businessmen making deals, celebrities posing for photos, politicians handing out business cards. Helen is at the center of it all, as always, the queen on her throne of appearances. Ryan slips away quietly, walking over to the trash can where his mother tossed the box. He glances around, making sure no one is watching. He reaches in, retrieves the crumpled box and feels a light but significant weight inside. His heart pounds as he runs upstairs to his room. Locked in his room, Ryan sits on his bed and studies the wrapping in his hands. Simple paper, hand-decorated with little gold stars drawn with a marker. Someone took time to do this, he realizes. Someone put love into this. He opens it slowly, as if unwrapping something sacred. Inside is a small red velvet box, old and worn. He opens it. His breath catches. An old gold wedding band rests inside, and beside it a carefully folded note. Ryan picks up the band with trembling hands. He turns it in the light, sees an engraving on the inside. M+. There is a small scratch, a dark tarnish spot that looks very, very old. He unfolds the note and reads the words, written in a shaky hand. "This ring belonged to Marianne Miller, your biological mother. She died giving birth to you and made me promise to deliver this on Christmas. I spent 45 years looking for you. Please forgive me for not speaking sooner." Rose. Tears well up unbidden. Rose wasn't just a cleaner. She was Helen's aunt. And she had worked in the mansion for 3 years, enduring humiliation, all to fulfill a 45-year-old promise. Ryan heads downstairs, box in hand, heart pounding, determined. He finds Helen in the center of the party, smiling for photographers, faking happiness. He grips her arm firmly. "Mom, I need to talk to you. Now." Helen smiles at the guests and hisses through clenched teeth. "Later, Ryan." He squeezes tighter. "It's about Rose, and about your real mother." Helen's smile freezes instantly. She glances around, sees people watching, and yanks her son into the study. The door shuts behind them, and Helen's world is about to completely unravel. Helen shuts the study door and wheels on Ryan, her eyes flashing with anger. "What do you think you're doing? I have 80 important guests out there." Ryan holds out his hand, revealing the ring gleaming under the light. Helen stares, and a flicker of something crosses her face: surprise, fear, recognition. "Where did you get this?" Her voice comes out weaker than she intends. Ryan replies calmly, "I opened the box you threw in the trash. Rose wasn't lying, Mum. She's your aunt. She's been looking for you for 45 years. Helen takes the ring with trembling hands, turns it over, sees the Mbapslan's engraving, and feels something shatter inside her chest. It could be a fake. It could be a scam to get money. but her voice doesn't sound convincing, not even to her. Ryan shakes his head. "Mum, look at the wear on it. Look at the age. This is real. And Rose worked here for 3 years. She never asked for anything. She accepted low wages. Why? Why would anyone do that?" Helen has no answer. She just clutches the ring to her chest. For the first time in decades, her armor begins to crack. Helen walks heavily to the safe and pulls out a folder she has never shown anyone. Adoption papers, yellowed with age. She reads aloud, her voice breaking. "Biological mother, Marianne Miller. Deceased, January 15th, 1980. Cause, postpartum hemorrhage. Miller, Rose's last name. The dates match perfectly. It all lines up." Helen looks at the ring in her hand and whispers, "For the first time in 45 years, my mother wore this. Not the woman who gave birth to me. My mother." The tears come unbidden. 45 years of building walls, of pretending she didn't need anyone, that her origins didn't matter. And now this simple ring shatters it all. Helen collapses into the chair, sobbing as she hasn't in her entire adult life. Ryan has never seen his mother like this, so human, so broken. He steps closer, takes her hand. "Mom, it's not too late. We can fix this." Helen wipes her tears away, angry with herself. "The way I treated her, Ryan, with such contempt, such cruelty, and she endured it all, and for the love of her sister, for my mother." Helen stands up with sudden resolve, grabbing her purse. "Where does she live?" Ryan shows her the address on his phone. Far, very far away. Helen walks back out to the party, takes the microphone, and silence falls. "The party is cancelled. Please, everyone, leave." Voices of protest erupt, but she repeats firmly, "Take the food, take everything, but go now." Within 20 minutes, the mansion is empty. Helen looks at Ryan. "Let's go find my aunt. Let's have a real Christmas." And the two of them head out into the cold December night, driving across the entire city, moving from one world to another, searching for the love that had always been waiting. The car stops on an unpaved street, lined with simple houses. One of them has blinking Christmas lights, cheap, simple, but full of genuine life. Helen steps out of the car, feeling completely out of place in her expensive party dress, jewels glittering at her throat. Voices singing Christmas carols drift from inside the small house. Ryan squeezes his mother's hand. "Breathe, Mum. You're doing the right thing." Helen takes a deep breath and rings the doorbell, her heart pounding. The door opens, and an older woman appears. She looks Helen up and down, recognizing her face from television. She turns her head and shouts back inside, "Rose, someone's here for you." Hurried footsteps approach, and then Rose appears in the doorway. She sees Helen. She goes pale, as if she's seen a ghost. For a long moment no one speaks, only the sound of Christmas music filling the heavy silence. Rose's daughters come up behind her, looking worried, ready to protect their mother from any further humiliation. Helen holds out a trembling hand, and in her palm lies the gold ring, gleaming under the porch light. "You kept your promise to my mother, Aunt Rose. Now let me keep mine." Rose can't hold back the tears that instantly flood her eyes. Helen continues, her voice breaking. "Forgive me for treating you like you were nothing, for throwing away the most precious gift anyone has ever given me, for not seeing that you were right beside me all this time, all out of love." Rose opens her arms, and Helen falls into them like a lost child finally finding her way home. The two of them weep, embracing in the doorway, 45 years of distance closing in a single hug. Rose repeats between sobs, "Marianne, I did it. I kept my promise, sister. I did it." Helen holds on tighter. "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for loving me when I didn't deserve it." Rose's daughters, the neighbors, everyone who was inside the small house, comes out to watch, and they begin to cry too. Ryan wipes away his own tears, watching his mother finally, truly become human. Rose invites Helen inside. The house is minuscule compared to the mansion. An old sofa, an old TV, a crowded table with 12 people squeezed around it, a tablecloth that is mended but clean, a plastic tree with ornaments 28 years old. Simple food, but made with love. Turkey, stuffing, rice. And in the midst of it all, genuine smiles, real hugs, and true love. Helen looks around, compares it to her empty mansion, and asks with the voice of a child discovering the world, "So, this is what Christmas is really like." Rose smiles through her tears and replies, "It always was, Helen. You just never saw it." Rose insists that Helen sit at the table, fixing her a plate with her own hands, no chefs, no expensive restaurant food, just food made with love by someone who woke up early to prepare it. Helen eats slowly. Each bite is a revelation. This tastes different from anything she has ever eaten. It tastes like family, like belonging, like home. Something all the money in the world could never buy for her. And here it is, at a cramped table in a poor neighborhood. During the meal, Rose tells the whole story. Her sister Marianne, the pregnancy, the death in childbirth, the impossible promise, the 45 years of searching without ever giving up. How she saw Helen on television and felt her heart nearly stop. How she applied for the job at the mansion, lying about her address, accepting low wages and enduring humiliation. All just to be near her niece and fulfill the promise made to her dying sister. Everyone at the table is crying Rose's daughters, her granddaughters, the neighbors Ryan and Helen, who has never cried so much in her entire life. Helen takes the ring and slides it onto her finger. It fits perfectly, as if it had always been hers, as if Marianne knew one day it would find its way to her daughter. "My mother wore this when she was having me." Rose nods. "Until the very last moment. She held that ring and said her love for you was right there in that gold." Helen kisses the ring reverently. "I feel like she's here now, that she brought us together from heaven." And for the first time, Helen feels faith, something she had always despised, but which now burns inside her chest like a living flame. Helen holds Rose's hands firmly. "You looked after me without me even knowing it, Auntie. Now I'm going to look after you. You are not going to work as a cleaner another day. You are my family, the only real family I have. We are going to spend every Christmas together from now on, I promise." Rose cries harder, shaking her head. "I don't need anything, Helen. I just needed to keep my promise. I just needed to find you." But Helen insists, "I need you. I've spent 45 Christmases alone. I will never be alone on Christmas again." That Christmas Eve changed everything. A rejected box, a discovered ring, an aunt revealed, a niece transformed. Helen woke up on the old sofa in Rose's house, having slept peacefully for the first time in decades. In the months that followed, she completely transformed her company, creating a program to help families have a real Christmas, with Rose in charge of it all. And the miracle multiplied, from 2 women to thousands of families, from one Christmas to all Christmases to come. Because when God works through the faith of someone like Rose, the miracles never end. Years have passed since that Christmas Eve that changed 2 lives forever. Helen now has grey hair mixed in with her brown. Rose is older, but her eyes sparkle with joy. The 2 remain inseparable every Christmas, every celebration, every joy. They are an aunt and a niece who found each other late in life, but right on God's time. Just as Marianne always wanted, just as heaven had planned from the start. Helen's company is completely transformed. It no longer just sells expensive decorations. It now dedicates a large portion of its profits to helping families have a true Christmas. Rose runs the Christmas for All program, visiting communities, distributing not just gift baskets, but, more importantly, love and presents. Thousands of families have been touched, but the greatest miracle isn't in the numbers. It's in the transformation of 2 hearts that learned family isn't something you buy, it's something you build with true love. Helen founded the Marianne Miller Institute in honor of the mother she never knew. Its mission is to support single mothers, ensuring no woman dies helpless and alone as Marianne did. Rose serves as the president, carrying out in her sister's name the work she couldn't do for her back then. "Marianne, we're saving lives in your name," Rose whispers every time she visits the institute. Hundreds of mothers have been helped, hundreds of babies born, surrounded by love, all because of a promise fulfilled 45 years later. Every year on Christmas Eve, Helen holds the gold band on her finger and looks at Rose with tears of gratitude. "Thank you for not giving up on me, Auntie." Rose hugs her niece tightly. "I never would have. I promised Marianne, and God gave me the strength to keep that promise. The two light a candle together and look at a framed photo of a pregnant, smiling Marianne, feeling her presence. Smiling from heaven, proud, seeing that her love united two souls who were always destined to find each other. This story teaches us to never give up on love, to never discard a gift given from a sincere heart, and to never look down on those who have less than we do. Because sometimes the simplest person carries the most precious treasure. Rose taught the world that a promise made in love must be kept. No matter how long it takes, God honors those who persevere in faith. Helen learned that scraps can be worth more than entire empires. And Marianne, from heaven, sees that her love saved not just one life, but thousands. Because when faith moves a single person, miracles multiply forever.